Dwayne would be like, what's the pot at? $5,000? Double it. Triple it. Should we go again? Should we go again? People are just screaming, losing their minds. He's giving away 6 figures every week.
Grab a car.
For what?
You don't have a Wonder Woman action figure, do you?
It's not how it works. Come on.
$1 million question was who's going to be the guy with me, and always this guy.
Well, they didn't give me the whole script at first. It was just the first half. And by the first half, I knew I was in. Because it leaves you off, really. I mean, like, you really are like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what happens here. But, you know, Christmas movies, they just don't come along very often. And my team called me and they said, listen, so we got a call. You know, Dwayne is doing a Christmas movie with Amazon. And I was like, I'm in. I don't even need to read it. But then luckily it was fantastic, and Jake gave a great pitch.
Thank God it was. What if it came in and it was
I'd be like, we'll get there. We'll get it on the potter's wheel, and we'll find it along the way. No, but it was just so great. It was so original, and it was exactly what you want a movie like this to feel like, and it just felt right.
So you're like the bodyguard for Santa Claus. It's a big job.
I play what would be considered, say, the head of the Secret Service in the North Pole. So responsible for the safety and the well-being of Santa Claus.
You can't trust this guy. He's on the list.
You don't mean...
Yes, that list. NL4.
Are you telling me this clown is a level 4 naughty lister? A level 4 naughty lister?
Oh, is that funny?
And I'm responsible for no one. I play Jack O'Malley. He's a bit of a rascal. He's a big naughty lister. He's sort of a tracker, bounty hunter. He's got a gambling problem. I mean, he's rough around the edges. Certainly in need of some Christmas spirit. And when Santa Claus goes missing, they employ Jack's services.
Because, by the way, with all the issues that he said that Jack has, Jack also, he has the uncanny ability to find and track down anything. So he's really good at something.
I'm bringing in Jack O'Malley. He's probably the best tracker in the world.
It was so fun.
Awesome.
It's exactly what you would want it to be. And I mean, that starts from the top down. And it's not just, you know, normally I would say the top down would be the director, but Dwayne is such a entity on these movies, you know what I mean? And the crews love working for him. The actors love working for him. He's got such a good energy. He really takes care of everybody around him. He really does. And it just felt, you know,
just
not...
pay him off.
That's it. Just you know, wads of cash. But that also happens, and it's great. I'm not joking. I told the story about the $5 Fridays. We do a thing on movie sets where at the end of each week, the crews will put, you know, a little $5 in a jar, and you get a raffle ticket, and at the end you pull a name, and someone wins, you know, a couple $1,000. It keeps spirits high. And one week, Dwayne, not even 1 week, he kept doing it. It would be like, all right, Dwayne would be like, what's the pot at? $5,000? Double it. Triple it. Should we go again? Should we go again? People are just screaming, losing their minds. He's giving away 6 figures every week and just really giving back to the people who work so hard on these movies. So it's just, you know, it didn't just, it felt like a Christmas movie in every way it possibly could. They're awful. They're the worst.
We're never working with them again, that's
Never.
for sure.
We know that now.
Yes.
We didn't know in the beginning.
Just going to work with each other. This is it.
That's right.
Next 20 years,
They're
great.
They're so great. Everyone was great. There wasn't one bad apple in the bunch.
And that's the thing, you know, we've been around a long time, and 20 plus years, I think, both of us have been working. And, you know, it's not always the case where you get a group of actors coming together and where everyone is amazing and awesome, and you have just such a good time. You know, we were talking about this early on. We had a conversation. We both reached this point in our careers where we would like and prefer not to work with assholes.
No asshole policy.
No asshole policy.
I mean, for me, it's that it's fresh. You know what I mean? I'm a Christmas purist, so I take seriously how we depict Santa, how we depict the North Pole, what message are we sending. But everything about this movie kind of turns that on its head. It's Santa like you've never seen. It's North Pole like you've never seen. Again, like I said, I'm a little resistant to that, so I want to make sure it's done right. And this movie just knocked it all out of the park, and it gave a fun, fresh, exciting new look at these things that we all know so well.
And a lot of times, in addition to what Chris said, a lot of times in these Christmas movies, there's not a lot of action. Certainly not this scale. And you get a guy like Jake Kasdan who understands big scale action, but also comedy, but also heart. And that's the number one thing, I think, for us that really drove this.
Hi, Jack.
Red One was just to make sure that what's the message ultimately? You could get lost in the visual effects. It's beautiful, as he was saying, the North Pole like you've never seen it. The reindeer are 15, 20 feet high. Santa Claus is completely jacked, very muscular in JK, and it's just amazing. Mrs. Claus, of course, Bonnie Hunt. But what's the message and the idea, I think, that the world is noisy, it's loud, there's a lot going on, especially lately. If you look around every corner, you could find a lot of negativity and a lot of pessimism. And in this case with us, it's the idea of, as Santa Claus says in our movie, you want to look past that in people and look at the child in everybody.
Oh my God. Is my face still there?
Yeah, you look good.
I love Berlin. I've been here several times. It is an art community. It is filled with wonderful food, and I think everyone here is always very warm and friendly and welcoming.
Yeah, I'm stoked to be here. I haven't been in maybe 10 years, and the last time I was here so quickly, don't really feel like I had a grasp on the city, and I landed early in the morning yesterday, so I really just hit the ground running, went everywhere, saw a lot of stuff, and it's been amazing. It's been really, really, really fun.
She did more than I did, for sure.
I drank a lot of coffee. There's a lot of bread that I needed to eat. There's a lot of different bakeries on my list, and I needed to do
hit
it.
that.
I had to cross some stuff off my list. That way, if anyone comes here, I get to tell them where
you get to
go,
say that you actually went there.
Yeah.
Well, for me, when they offered me the role and we had a meeting together on Zoom, they were sort of explaining what the movie was about, and honestly, they had me with the cast. Because to me now, really, like, my photo album of my life is about the work that I do, because those are the friends that you meet, those are the people that you work with, but also it becomes a community. And I knew immediately that it was going to be a great experience. And also, a friend of mine worked with Kiernan and said, "You're going to have the best time."
Oh,
and we saw each other not on set, but in a sauna.
This is true. Lucy and I met.
We met
in the
with
sauna.
towels on in a sauna.
We
didn't recognize each other.
Famously don't have a single scene together. So this is kind of we are doing good work right now. This is we're workshopping our 1 hour stand-up special. Yeah. But that'd be good.
But we're doing for us to do a holiday movie together, and normally I'm the antagonist. Right. And
so
you probably would be like the princess.
Yeah, so we had a little
we did a little switcheroo.
We had a little role reversal, and it was amazing. I mean, I think going back to, what made me really want to do it, not just the fact that the script was awesome, super ambitious, super dialed in. I felt like I could really see the movie, and then you get on set and then you really see the movie, because it was extraordinary to be there too. But everyone in every department just cared so much and was kind of the best at what they did. Like, I think Jake and Chris and Hiram just kind of created this beautiful, amazing story, and that this kind of story feels like it's so right in their hands. And then the cast is just wonderful, and it was so fun to work with everyone. I mean, I had such good experiences with everyone, and to see these absolute dynamite pros just like do what they do best was so cool. I mean, to see Chris Evans and Dwayne Johnson in an action movie, like riffing, you almost kind of, you have to remind yourself to stay in the scene sometimes, because I just wanted to observe them do their thing. It was really cool.
I agree.
It was very fun.
What am I doing here?
Last night, Red One, also known as St. Nicholas of Myra, was abducted from the North Pole complex.
Are you saying Santa Claus has been kidnapped?
My character is Zoe Harlow, and she is the head of Mora, which is the mythological creatures. And when Santa gets kidnapped, she kicks into gear and she gets involved, and it's her responsibility to make sure that everything goes according to plan. So obviously when he gets kidnapped and Christmas is the next day, we have to really kick it into gear. And that is how it all kind of comes together. But she really oversees all of the mythological creatures. And if you can believe it or not, Saint Nick is a mythological creature, even though he seems real to everybody. I mean, he's real to her. So.
Yeah, this is true.
The world will be punished.
I play Grilla, who is an Icelandic witch that thinks the way things are going down in the North Pole are not working. And she has a plan to, in her eyes, fix Christmas, fix the world by punishing the naughty children in a more kind of
permanent
way that she thinks is for the best. But as an audience member, if you zoom out and you look at her, you go, I don't think so, babe. And that
It was just a
that's
mishap.
Sort of her
It was a
role.
mistake.
I know.
Yeah,
I
everyone
know.
makes mistakes.
She's deep in it, though.
She's deep in it. She's
Yeah.
living her best
She's
life.
she's living her best Icelandic witch life.
Yeah.
Yeah, crawled out of her cave in the mountains of Iceland. Oh, it's so fun on the big screen. Oh my gosh. I mean, this again goes back to the sets are incredible. The effects are amazing. The costumes are wonderful. I mean, it's just like these huge figures,
It's an
right?
adventurous movie, you know, in that sense. And I think that's when you watch it at home, it's going to be wonderful. But when you watch it in a movie theater, you really are embraced by the entire environment that has been built and created. And in that world, you fall into that reality of the fact that mythological creatures exist and that Santa is real. And there's something that really, I don't know, it's like a gut punch when you watch the movie from the beginning, middle, and end. There's a full circle moment. And I think it's quite unexpected.
Yeah,
There will be tears that will be shed,
absolutely.
especially if you go and see it in the theater.
I mean, I'm a very spiritual person, so there's that, and I believe in milk and cookies, and there's that too. Yeah, sure.
This is the thing. A lot of my son's friends don't believe in Santa, and he asks me, he's like, "Mommy, you know, so many people say that Santa doesn't exist." And I say, well, if you don't believe, then he's not going to show up. But if you do believe, he'll be there.
That's an amazing
So it's
lesson.
not about, it's like an individual choice.
Yeah.
But of course, if you don't believe, it's not going to happen, right? That's what you manifest.
I think that's an amazing sort of lesson in the Santa discourse.
Right. Because
Of
what
it
do you
all.
say when a child asks you,
Right.
like, do they really believe? And then you ask them, like, do you believe in this, whatever it is? And if you do, then that's real to you. You never take it away from somebody else.
Yeah.
But you also, if the other person doesn't believe, that's cool.
Yeah, and coming to things on your own terms.
Yeah.
Red one is on the move.
Evening, ladies. What are you so excited about? Of course, your boyfriend's here.
Well, my version of him was, the version that they put on the page. Jake Kasdan and Hiram, DJ, all sort of contributed to creating this whole world and this version of Nick. And it kind of jumped off the page to me. And then, Jake and I spoke a few times before we started shooting about, how to best inhabit this character. And it all came very naturally. And the relationships, which is always the most important part of any character or film or life, with Mrs. Claus, with Cal, with Jack, with Dylan, all unfolded really beautifully.
498. 499. 500.
Let's go heavy. Got it.
Looking strong, Nick.
As Mrs. Claus, I think she's supporting him, and they're also a team. She has her strengths and what she runs where they're running something so, humongous. It's the world. And he goes to millions of homes. So she helps with that. And I think it's pretty cool that they have this mutual respect and love. It's very sweet. It's nice. Yeah, it's always fun. It's great to play tennis with great tennis players, because you're getting that ball back every time. And it was great. I loved being with JK, especially. Really fun.
It was. And I think, that's a great metaphor. You sort of, everybody elevates each other's game, and especially when you're starting out with something that you can see on the page could be something really special. And then with a big movie like this, the days are long on almost every film, but there's also, the bigger the movie, the more time you are sort of in between shots as the cast, the crew is working, and we're sort of hanging around and chatting and getting to know each other.
Sharing stories, life stories, and
having a good time.
Yeah.
Reach! Someone took Nick.
Fantastic. And I first met him my first day on the film when we were shooting the mall scene that happens early in the movie. And very quickly felt comfortable and like compadres and teammates. And I mean, it's a very imposing, kind of intimidating figure, but also a super approachable guy who really makes an effort to make people comfortable and make people feel like they can just be themselves.
Yeah, it was nice to see the chemistry between Chris and Dwayne on the set. the humor and the mutual respect. Very nice. You could always tell how stressful the day was on the set, like how much we were getting done, which was a lot every single day, by how big Jake's hair got, because he would put his hands through his hair. And then by the time I come in, it'd be like, Jiffy Pop. And I was like, wow, it's been a long day already. Yeah, he's gotten a lot done.
But yeah, and he was I always found it remarkable that he didn't look like this. That he hadn't pulled all of his hair
right,
out.
he was into it,
yeah,
he loves it. It's his passion.
He's got so many balls in the air, and for somebody to direct a movie of this these proportions it's an amazing job, and for him to be able to keep his good humor was pretty remarkable.
He's a nice man.
He's all right.
Family, cherishing family, missing the ones that aren't here anymore, and celebrating the future with everybody living in honor of all the ones we love.
Yeah, absolutely. Being with the ones you love, and the joy of sharing and the joy of giving.
Well, heart, humor, and adventure, for sure.
Yeah. That's the trifecta, right? Mm-hmm. Those three. I mean, it's a great ride. It's a fun roller coaster ride of a movie. That there's really, really funny stuff, and it all comes from here, and it really hits you in the heart as well.
Last night, St. Nicholas was abducted.
Santa Claus?
You're gonna help us find him.
别忘了订阅我们的频道，打开小铃铛就不会错过任何精彩内容，随时上架。我们下回再见。